We are live. Alive. Alive and well. Let's play a word association game. Good evening. Masturbate. When I say Hans, what do you think of? Express your thought in one word. If I say Illuminati, anus, there's a good one. Illuminati, I say money. Whenever I see those Illuminati triangles, it makes me think of like dollar bills. All right, pyramids, triangles. Well, they are triangles, essentially. All right. So we are modified start. One viewer. Refresh chat. 5 minutes to go. Why am I not live? It's weird. Guys, we're getting ready for GM tournament in 2 weeks. So that's why the long time control. Why the long face, Asterbay? Why the long time control? 15 plus 10. Rapid casual. This is the longest possible, I guess, rapid time control. 5 rounds. These are long games. So Sung Prism, let's try to keep the bullet chest to a minimum. There's this account here in the tournament, Brain. That made me think of Pinky and the Brain. Because you're not. See, that's the irony of that conspiracy theory. Why am I banned from commenting? Because you're not. Now that's weird. Isn't it? Now that's weird. I knew you were on something there. Why am I banned from commenting? You're not banned from commenting. See, you could create a conspiracy theory. Certain words may be banned, but it's not. It's nothing against you personally. Sparkle Horse, Audisto, Sun Prism, Cheesy Noob, Yurun, Astrobate, Miyamoto, Netty, Pirate, Brainy. London's not still banned? Who unbanned London? How dare they do that? Oh, God. What's really sad for me is that cheese.com site and their Title Tuesday tournaments is so pathetic. That's the only thing that anybody cares about. It's so sad and it's really sad, honestly. That's pathetic, bro. Alright. Welcome, guys. Warm up. Serious training tournament here. I'm going to be taking this very seriously. This is Rapid Swiss. It is a Swiss, not an arena. The poop jokes are getting old. I agree with Mr. Coffee. It's extremely, extremely old. It's almost as old as London. Even Mr. Coffee's getting banned with it. Getting banned with it. That's very strange. You know, you're like 5 years old or something. We cannot resist the fascination of sacrifice, since the passion for sacrifice is part of a chess player's nature. Sounds like Rudolf Spielman is kind of speaking for himself. Talk about like seeing things through your own, through your own eyes. Rudolph, bro. A passion for sacrifice is part of a chess player's nature. Yeah, but not all chess players, I assure you. Some of them are quite boring. Drown the Clown. Wonder who that is. Drown the Clown, not. See, he's not big on sacrifices. The Drown the Clown. Sleazy tactics are not necessarily, sacrifices. Go for it. I'm playing d6 a lot of the time anyway. I'm gonna steer away from a6 here. Not very relevant against the bird, for sure. Yeah, B-Jack, I don't have to time you out again. Do I? Menudo. The Menudo Gambit. Again, there's that earthquake effect. Sometimes this door, there's this like vibration. It feels like we're on like a geological fault line or something. Don't understand that vibrating. All right, B3. The bird's word. The next person who complains is getting like timed out. Everything is a blessing, my friend. You get a free point and you get a chance to watch some other players play. What more could you possibly ask for? The arenas. Bijak is just... Play some bullet chess while you're waiting. That's what it's there for. Bullet chess as a cure for ADD. Learning chess. God forbid we play real chess here with actual time control. What is that? Is that a fist? Is that like a fist pump? Fist pump. Fist bump. Is that a worm? What is his flare? What is that? Is that a fist bump? A punch? He can't make up his mind. It's the bird. It's the English. It's both. It's everything. I want. What do I want? I wanted to play e5. e5, pawn e5. Interesting. That's a sacrifice of pawn. e5, pawn e5, pawn e5. Bishop e5. Knight c6. Bishop back to b2. And I'm down a pawn. Nevertheless, interesting. There is e5 takes, knight g4. White should just simply develop in that case. Yeah, I mean, c4, f4 is a bit weird, but, you know, it's playable. He's white. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's take it to him. Can I sacrifice a pawn here? Can I? Am I allowed? Of course you may. If I do sacrifice a pawn, whose pawn am I sacrificing? Sacrifice your opponent's pieces. Nicey. Sacrifice your opponent's pieces. That's drown the clown's advice. Who is this drown the clown? That's why arenas are more practical. I was hoping to get something out of these games, not just play blitz chess. I don't think like Bijak checked the time control before he signed up. Best Bye, master, gotta wash my cows. Cowmaster 2000. Why not just eat them instead? Make sure you wash them before you eat them. A little Hindu humor. All right. Where is everybody today? Hey. This ain't no Title Tuesday. This is a real time control. I want to play longer games, get practice. Now, okay, we can play knight g4. I think knight g4, bishop e2 is white's best move. And then I can play knight to c6. White will probably castle. I can take on e5. Which way do I take on e5? So instead of doing that, I was thinking, hey, let's take with the pawn. But what about knight g4, bishop e2, pawn takes? Say, for example, knight g4, bishop e2. Not his only move, by the way. Knight g4, bishop e2. I think Cheesy Noob still forgot his password on Twitch. Christ's sake. That was like 2 years ago, man. Knight g4, d takes e5. He's forgotten his password for 2 years. Bijak, seriously? Go drink a Red Bull. Knight g4, d4? Question mark? Question mark is right, bro. God almighty, man. But I was thinking this was interesting. Pawn takes, bishop takes e5. Knight c6. Bishop e2, and then what? What would Asterbate play in this position? You guys want to take a poll? Is Mr. Coffee here? What would Asterbate play in this position? Something like losing to e takes f6. Right? He would probably play knight c6, allowing pawn takes f6. So I was thinking pawn takes. Let's do it. I'm sacrificing a pawn. I'm freaking Andras Shadorian. Pawn for tempo. Pawn for 2 tempi? How many tempi do I get here? Tempi. Asterbate loves... And by the way, should I play knight c6 or rook e8? Like, is there any place where rook e8 is better? Rook e8 doesn't threaten anything. So if you play bishop takes e5, rook e8, bishop e2, then what do I do? Knight c6 is more constructive. Knight c6, bishop f5. Ideas like knight b4, bishop d3. What happens if he plays d4? Oh, I forgot, Bijak, you don't have a game. How many? You're in the game. No shit, man. Chessify me. Oh my god. Chessify me has how many games? 4, 26, 80 games. Oh, alright. I'll let it fly. I mean, yes. What? You didn't take the pawn. That's so not fair. Oh my god. He's starting to take the pawn with the knight now. That's just not... That's dirty poodle, man. So e4. Now white has less space than black. Five-round long games. Love me long time. I'm sorry, my English is just... English as a first language. Not very good. Bishop on g7 is kind of silent, isn't it? At least my king side is safe. If we put a pawn back here, what does it look like? Nimzovich opening. So that's what I'm talking about. Like Dorian used to recommend the d6, knight c6, g6 type of setup against the b3. I can't look at the book now. That would be cheating. I was seriously gonna go get my chess book and like take it to the. I would be cheating if I did that. I just realized, like, wait a minute, I'm not allowed to like. Wait, oh, you're telling me I'm not allowed to look at chess books while I play a game? Oh. Chess pigeons. It was just online. I was just 15 years old. Oh my god, now who's sacrificing pawns? Wow. What if I refuse to accept? Pawn takes. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes, bishop c4, queen d6. I'm up a pawn. Wait, as a something of some sort of initiative. Whatever Bijak is saying, I'll say the opposite. If it doesn't, refusing doesn't make sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. Or does it? I agree, it makes a lot of sense. Anything that Bijak says, I'll do the opposite. If he says it doesn't make sense, it's like Arsenal fan. Whatever you say, I don't agree. I mean, take, bishop c4. He has stuff like knight g5. I don't know. I don't think it's that simple. You're always looking for simple. Refusing doesn't make sense. Materialism. Be greedy. Where is his knight going? How you like the back rank, bro? What do you mean it doesn't make sense? So it totally makes sense. I'm sending this guy back to, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. How are you doing over there? How's the G1 square treating you? Or you can, see door number 2. There's always a door number 2. But did you fully like really evaluate the consequences of checking behind door number 2? Have you guys checked out your local back alley lately? Knight d5, knight c6, bc6, bishop g7, king g7, pawn d5, pawn d5. I'm in. I'm all in. Whatever Bijak is having, I'll have one of those. Where is everybody? Guys, don't forget, Grandmaster Tournament in 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks now. We're up to $335 with 18 days to go. Now, I think what he's trying to do is like get me to take on d5 and gain that tempo with bishop c4. But this is nowhere near as good as it was for him. This is way, way, way better. I mean, I think he had to actually play knight to g1. I wasn't kidding about that, But he should have taken my initial pawn sacrifice. I mean, I'm the one making like a dubious pawn sacrifice. He's like, no, I refuse to take dubious pawn sacrifices. I only offer dubious pawn sacrifices. We don't take them, we just offer them. Well, I offer them and accept them, you know, so I'm totally non-discriminatory. I both offer and accept dubious pawn sacrifices. Do you perp? My preparation is like my private lessons. Everything is cooked to order. Now, what were you saying about king safety? Someone say something about king safety? Queen takes d5. Oof, this is really oof. I can throw in the check on h4, but I think it's pretty fancy. The pawn needs to be captured, and after bishop c4, his d4 pawn is ripe. f7's protected. This looks pretty grim. I guess he's going to have to go 2 pawns down, you know. Let's take a look, though. Queen d5, bishop c4, queen d6, castles kingside, bishop takes d4, check. Take, check, king h1. So what you're looking at is white being 2 pawns down, with basically like no compensation. Almost no compensation. I thought you'd go wash your cows. Let's think about this. There's another possibility here. The epic queen g5. And maybe I'm being too materialistic now. The issue really is that g2 is just too easy to defend. I mean, you can play queen g5 all day, but after castles, we've got no threats. To stay on this. I don't prep too much before the tournament. You know, I'm practicing tactics and looking at some interesting ideas in general. But I prepare for my opponents on a case-by-case basis because I know from experience that the last minute, you know, somebody's not going to play. There'll be some substitute player. I'll know who I'm playing, like, hopefully, you know, before the first round. Maybe even the night before the first round. So I shouldn't train much before the tournament. You definitely shouldn't train too much before my tournament. I don't know about your tournament. But I really don't think you want to... No, it's not about staying fresh. It's about me personally. If I didn't have a job, I didn't have a family, I didn't have responsibilities, I would spend a lot of time preparing. But I do anti preparation for my tournaments. I just hit myself. I like to make my opponents uncomfortable, if possible. Play things that they don't want to see, or they are likely to not maybe know that well. I wonder how unsound this pawn sacrifice really was, you know. Bishop takes c5. Knight c6. You know, it occurs to me that I have to consider knight d7 there as well. I wouldn't do this unless white has played c4 and f4. But this square is pretty weak, and I think we have some compensation in terms of, you know, like frontal pressure. Wow. Deep thoughts. Mm-hmm. That doesn't work. There's no way that that move makes sense, right? Unless his idea is to prevent b5, in which case he prevented b5. Well, I guess Acerbate Tony, really should be more specific about the dosage. So I imagine there are people that would play chess better on Valium. Like, it really comes down to dosage. So he should have been more specific. He ruins a4. This isn't... Yeah, he's just left the building. Elvis was never in this building. Now White's just totally lost. Bishop e6 gives a pawn back. Sort of, but not really. h5, risky. b6, bishop d7. Bishop d7 isn't bad. Bishop e6 takes e6, queen takes e6. What I don't want White to do is to be able to get his king out of the center. Queen f4, queen e2. Queen f4 is a bit up close and personal. Really want to develop. h5 is not that stupid. You belong with the fishes. Fish category. Oh yeah. I had a really weird dream last night. The hot water heater at my apartment died. And as a weird consequence of that, I dreamt that we started keeping sharks in the bathtub. As pets. Does anyone else think that's kind of a strange dream to have? Or is it just me? I guess the point is, like, the sharks were comfortable with the new, well, the fact there was no hot water. they like the cold water better. So once we had only cold water, like, the sharks were happy in the bathtub. Uber driver, have you, or do you need a recommendation for a psychiatrist in the New England area? So I can definitely help you. Put you in contact with someone who can help you. No, I'm serious. I'm serious, really. I know some good people. The hot water thieves. Well, there are no hot water thieves. The hot water just has nowhere to go because it doesn't have, well, it doesn't exist anymore. There is no hot water. There's no machine making the water hot, so the sharks feel comfortable now with the cold water environment that we have going on in my house at the moment. Aspirate, you're gonna. Oh man, I just remembered my dream. You were in my dream. I dreamt I. This is crazy, bro. I dreamt I went to Acerbate's house and like stayed over. And I was sleeping next to this big cabinet. And this is before the shark part of the dream. Now that you mention it. Acerbate had like all these like lobsters and shit inside the cabinet. Like he was planning to surprise me with like a big lobster dinner or something. The end of my visit. I don't know what's with the sea animals and stuff, you know. It's all interrelated, but it's funny that you're here to mention that you were in the dream. And I think it's, although you've been watching my stream for 6 years or more, 5-6 years, 5 years, I don't know, whatever. It's the first time I've ever had a dream I recall where you were in it. And it definitely had chess tournament connection. But there was something to do with like Vancouver in my dream. But I opened the cabinet and there's all these lobsters started falling out. Like you were like hiding them in there. It's stuff for like a clam bake, basically. Lobsters, corn on the cob. You know, we're talking about like a bedroom cabinet. There's like, or like closet. All this shit starts falling out. I had to like stuff it back inside. Equipment for like a New England clam bake. Acerbate's got in the closet. Crazy stuff. Rescue dogs. You ruined? We're trying to keep it fundamental. Keeping it fundamental here. Always play for mate in one. I recommend mate in one, personally, when it's available. Hey, Batman. This is the problem with the Nimzovich / Bird type of stuff. Like my last year's team championship game where I never castled. Acerbate has learned. You might want to think about castling more early and often. Right, Uber driver? Let's not talk about your obsessions. They caught Uber driver driving Ubers round circles around, you know, where that pop star at the Super Bowl. What's her name again? He's been stalking Britney Spears. That's why I said you should get some treatment. Oh yeah, Britney Spears. Charles de Gaulle. Thanks for the game. Fato Pasa. Nobody with a poop emoji is allowed. Poop tornado. I can't see what that is. I need glasses. I still haven't got my glasses, guys. I'm sorry. So, wow, Blatney had a game of this with White. Of course he did. Blatney 23-21. He's now lower rated than me. He lost to Escobar Medina 22-96 in 2019. We're in good company. Yeah, I mean, Iesca's played knight g4. I mean, this is, of course, like, this is the normal move, you know, that if you're not like nuts, you play. I expected bishop e2, you know, and then I don't know. I mean, I was looking at this actually. It's an old Iescas game from 1989. Like, he wasn't that strong back then. He was still improving. He hadn't reached his like full potential yet, so he wasn't like the modern Iescas. But I'm asking a new question here, you know? Wow. The computer thinks it's sound. The pawn sack is sound. Notification suggestions. Turn off night notifications from Microsoft Store? Fuck you. Why the fuck are they turned on? Scam artists. Alright. Well, the engine's never gonna like this, to sack. But it does think that it's sound. I was gonna play knight c6. Bishop f5. Well, that's part of the plan. Rook e8, I also mentioned. Black has compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Okay, it was... but it also looked at c5, which I thought was too slow, you know. But it makes sense. I'm getting even more control of the center. Orca. Alright, back to tournament. 5 minutes between rounds. Yeah, it's a long tournament, so if anybody actually wants to take a break between the games, I made it 5 minutes. Be right back. Okay, we are back, and we're about to start round 2. Bird deferred. Deferred bird. I hope I play Drown the Clown. Not only did I not get the opponent I wanted, I got the worst opponent. But at least he's black. Do I have another request? Another request. Not enough games. I'm sorry. We don't accept players with 12 non-bullet games. Alright. Scandinavian. The Scandinavian circumference. Weird choice from Cheesy Noob, who I would think would gravitate away from like open positions. Given his stylistic preferences. Have we seen this before? Yeah, it's Bishop X Knight chess. D4. Bishop E2 is fine. Cheesy Noob plays Bishop X Knight chess. First of all, good luck at your GM tournament. First of all. And second of all, what about second of all? A pawn sacrifice. This pawn sacrifice sponsored by. This is an offer I can't refuse. It's not true. I mean, I could refuse it, but refusing it leaves us with literally no advantage at all. So I think it's an obligation. Taking this pawn is an obligation I have to take upon myself. The good news is that castling queenside is no longer what it used to be for black. It's it's not a real safe idea for black to go for that castling queenside thing. E5 is an idea. Not that effective with the bishop on G4. But I'm seriously considering D4 now. C3, E5, C3 PO. D4. D4, bishop F3, bishop F3. Knight takes D4, bishop takes B7. That's weird, isn't it? And now, I could play rook B8, bishop A6. Having weird hallucinations. My queen is on D1, the pawn's on D4. Rook B8. Pawn's not on D4, there's a knight on D4. Bishop A6. Or I can play C3. Or I could just castle. Probably the best move of all. Castle early and often. Uber driver? Is that your thought? Where's Uber driver? Oh yeah, he's there, right? He was in the chat. No? No. This weirdest thing. I thought Uber driver was here tonight. If he had a C7 pawn, he could try to castle queenside. Again, if you lived in the Boston area, I could give you a recommendation for a mental health practitioner. Or even Budapest, for that matter. A mental health practitioner. I don't know what else to call it, you know. Sounds good. I would make a damn good. I'd make a damn good psychologist. GMD virtually. I am falling in love recently with a Scandian. The Scandian. Scandia. Are there trucks that are called Scandia? Scandia. Maybe in French it's called Scandian. Scandinavian. Scandian is short for Scandinavian. Oh no. E5. This is like a really sick sort of E45 game. Or a Kraken in reverse. There's nothing risky about that. And I feel like I could almost play knight takes E5 here. I want it to work. Knight, bishop G4. I really need rook E1 in the mix. Rook E1 a little bit weakens the F2. It's a Philidor in reverse, what we're looking at here. Knight E5, D4. That's unclear at best. I mean, I guess the sensible thing to do is like D3, but it's a tiny bit passive. I really was hoping for something more active. D4 is a crazy idea. Crazy. D3, rook E1. There's always bishop B5. If you really want to be crazy. Knight C3, E4. Knight C3 kills the C3. Knight C3. I just like percolating these ideas in my brain, you know. I like meditating on chess positions. Alright, whatever. This is the solidest. Not very exciting, but the solidest move for white. Little disappointed to play that, to be honest. I feel like there should be another option that's a bit more active. And I waste a lot of time when I could have played a very simple move quickly. Not good rapid time management. By the way, I just want to say Black's pawn sacrifice is really unsound. But okay. Yeah, I mean your bishop's on the wrong square. You know, if you had your bishop on f5 or something, you'd have an almost playable sort of gambit. Now, if I were to play like bishop e3, for example, what would Black do? And he's the one who likes bishops better than, knights better than bishops. So what happens if I exchange his knights off? This is my good bishop. Sun Prism, I don't know about draw first. There may be something about within a certain number of moves. Maybe you're not allowed to offer draws within the first so many moves. Very arbitrary. Don't get John Nunn started. It's pretty dumb, dude. That's something I should actually find out about my tournament. There's not this idiotic Sophia rule. They tried to pull a fast one at the World Senior and forced that no draw rule within the 30 moves. John Nunn freaked out. He was like starting a revolution. But I think understandably it's just absurd, you know, the whole concept of it, especially in a friendly tournament like the World Senior. But really in any tournaments, it's unnatural. Okay, bishop h4, bishop e3. I didn't play bishop g5 so I could play frickin' bishop e3, give you a free move. Exactly. We're a pawn up. Knight e5, queen e5. Damn, dude. He's played 30,000 Blitz games. 30,000. Just Blitz games. But I'd like to see his rating distribution. What? What? GC started out at 1390 in 2017. Made a really big jump there. If you look at that, there was this jump September 6th to March 6th where he went suddenly from 1785 to 2186. It's kind of extreme, though. That's so stupid. You see, that's the problem with people who they're running a chess site and they don't know anything about chess. Like, did Tybalt, like, who included that idiot? They didn't want to do Swisses, by the way. Like, the site. It's probably, largely the same with chess.com. You have, like, people who don't know anything about chess creating a chess site. It probably would have been good to consult with an actual chess player when sites like chess.com and lichess were created. They probably should have consulted with an actual chess player, because this dirty move rule has nothing to do with Swiss tournaments, or there's just no, like, literally no connection. That's a completely random rule that was made up. No connection to the type of tournament. In fact, I think originally it was created for a round robin tournament, which doesn't even exist in lichess. Hey, let's make the Sophia rule for Swiss tournaments. Now. But as I was looking at Cheesy Noob's rating, it's been very flat since 2020 to 2024, but there was that, like, strange sort of jump where he just, like, jumped from 1700 to 2000 in, like, a year or less than a year, and he just sort of stayed at that point. It's weird. Something very computer-like about his game. I think it's changed since the last time I played him, too. He wasn't as computer-like before. It also only time when he started playing Rapid. Yeah, what's with the rapid? Whoa. Whoa. Like, look at that. Wait a second. This is Bitcoin. No, this is Bitcoin. He's been... No, I don't know. He's been sort of stagnant after that weird jump. I feel like I'm playing a computer. You know, honestly. But maybe not. I guess not. Just one who learned from computers. If you learn from computers, you play like computer. He who learneth from computer, playeth like computer. But I just can't help it. Every time I play someone who plays that style, I get paranoid. I could play him a million games and I would still be paranoid. He's cheating with this weird style he has. He's also like fearless. Um, and see these moves like instantaneously like that. Which I didn't even see. You know, I mean, he's really very weird to get a handle on. I mean, how is he so fast, dude? I don't know. I just feel very strange about this account. I still do every time I play him. But the style changed. It used to be different. Look at that. What is that? What is that jump, you know? 1 minute you're 1600, the next minute you're 2000. And look how that happened in all of his categories, you know? That's really weird, dude. It feels like you're playing a computer. He's like hand picking computer moves. Some of them are his moves, some are the computer moves, you know? I'm getting mated. He has a 6-minute time edge. I mean, he's just fearless. Like, it's not normal, dude. It's very strange. Every time I play him, I think I'm facing a cheater. And then after the game, I'm like, no, it wasn't. You know, why do I feel like I'm playing the cheater every time I play him? And then after the game, I'm like, nope. I analyze the game, and it looks like he's not. You know, what is that? It's his time use, his speed, his strange style, his lack of fear of any kind. This is a very specific move, Queen h3 check. Not Queen h2. Okay. Do I prefer King e1 or King e1? King e1 or King e1? I'll go with King e1. Jesus Christ, dude. This is weird. I'm not even sure, to be honest. Because King e2, rook takes b2 check. Rook d2. Rook d2, king d2. King e2, rook d2 check, d3 check. Another engine move. King takes. Good lord. I don't know, man. I don't really trust your game. Very strange. And look at this, like, played 49 rapid games today, and he lost like 14 of them. Like, who are you playing all those rapid games with? Game aborted, game aborted. Game aborted? But he beat almost everyone else? That's weird. There's one he lost. Yeah, I think we need another plan here. Rook takes b2 check, king d3. We need plan B. And all bets are off. Because I was looking at rook d2. See this? He sees this with the engine instantaneously. You're telling me you're not using an engine to at least like double check their moves and stuff? It's hard to believe, bro. It's too complicated a position to keep coming up with the best move. I have to play king d3 now. He's like 10 times faster than me. Every time I play this guy, I'm like, I'm going to ban him from the stream. I'm going to ban him from the stream. He's got to be using computer. It's just unbelievable. You have 7 minutes to 2. You played an exchange sack like God, you know. It's very believable. Playing the most unsound gambit I've ever seen. But you play like you're using, I don't know, Stockfish to back you up with second or third best move every time. I mean, most players your rating would have been wrecked by now already. I'm lucky I have... You know what just occurred to me? Maybe I had king e1. But I don't know, you know. Why didn't I go to e1 in the first place? Can someone explain that to me? Rook b6. Now that's a weird move. Wow. I think he's lost. Rook b6 was just... Who expected that? Looks like he's lost now. Rook g1. Knight b4. Rook g1. Knight e5. You guys, I challenge you to play this guy and not feel like you're playing an engine. Or someone's like trolling you or something. In the beginning, I was sure he was an engine, and then I finally was convinced he wasn't. But then he's been gone for so long that I'm back to feeling like he's an engine again. Everything up till rook takes b2 looked normal. The rook b6 is like, okay, let's play a random move now. You gotta rebuild the trust, exactly. Man, I'm really thirsty. After this game, we have a short 5-minute break. You know, his only checks are like knight e5, queen f3, queen f5, all things that lose major material. But why would he play rook b6? That's such a weird move. Could you play a weirder move? I mean, honestly. I'm threatening queen g8 check, king g6, queen e6 check, queen e6, rook e6, rook takes b6. But I mean, seriously, that's a pretty weird way to solve the problem. Did I recover from my illness? Well, you were here for the last couple of streams. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. Alright. Back to tournament. My god. That game was insane. There's still a game going. How to stow against this clown. Clown playing white. This guy must be one of those California clowns. Mr. Coffee's working, I guess. That bishop on g2 has a real future ahead of it. Then the knight on a7 is good too. So let's have a vote. Which do you prefer? Knight on a7 or bishop on g2? I was so sick when I got paired with Cheesy Noob. It takes like time off my life every time I play that guy. Knight on a7 or bishop on g2? Well, the bishop on g2 has seen better days. I think I'd rather transfer it to e2, you know. It belongs on e2, clearly. Knight on a7 isn't really doing it for me. Clown. Clown chess. Whoa. Now I take the bishop. If the diagonal opens up. No, if the diagonal opens, it's not opening up. Never mind. If black were to take with the pawn on d3, I would say, yeah, I like my bishop now. Astrobate, are you making me a clam bake when I come to visit? Las Vegas clam bake. Hide those lobsters in the closet. I had the weird dreams again last night. Astrobate was in a dream. I dreamt there were sharks in my bathtub as pets. Looks like black is Alexander Alyakin playing a simul game. Oh no, pin it and win it. What a move. Sleaze master. How are we gonna get the bishop back in the game? What? This holds. Are you sure? The little bishop that could. Oh my god. I don't think, this is that simple. Black has to be careful. He has a lot of pawns on white squares. I mean, if the bishop were to get in, into the position somehow. On e8. Imagine white's bishop were on e8. Well, needless to say. If white's bishop even, were on e8. So which is better, knight or the bishop? Knight or bishop? I have expected black to play rook b3 check automatically last move, and they didn't, which is interesting. Well, if you play rook b3 check, your rook is stuck now, permanently or semi-permanently. So I can't blame him for that. Knight e5, forcing a drawn king and pawn endgame. Play knight e5 and offer a draw, dude. Drown the Clown would love a draw for right now. Well, white should be considering playing c5, but I think his bishop was a bigger priority. Of course. He's not going to be doing anything with the bishop on g2, Looks like he's equalized. Now, there's still an issue here a little bit. It's not like he could just play bishop d1 or something and there's no problems whatsoever. So there's your c5. The king is really needing to get in the game for black too. There you go. Not sure about the timing of it. It's probably fine. And black always threatening to go down to 7. So take, check, king f6. White still has to be prepared to meet rook d2 with rook c2 at almost any moment, to guard his 7th rank. So I don't really think that white is necessarily better here. The space is pretty serious, actually, King f6 is coming. Zombies are coming. I guess white could theoretically play for a win with bishop b5 at some point. They'll have to judge it carefully because black can... Well, there goes bishop 5. Wow, what a move. Bishop prevented. Damn, bishop denied. Rook d5, double exclamation point, stopping bishop e5. Damn, dude, that's hardcore. I don't think I would have seen that, you know. That's an awkward way to stop it, but it is very effective methodology. Rook d5. You will not put your bishop on b5. Absolutely. Check, takes. Black's time consistently lower than white's. Where's the black king gonna hide? Careful. Wow. King b2. Everybody's getting passive. Wow. Unbelievable. King c1. Can you be more of a chicken? King c1. What if black sacks a pawn with f4 to go for the win? Do you imagine? Pawn penetration. The clown is strongly passive. He has very strong passive tendencies. Strong but passive. I think Alistair is a bit more consistent. You know, this might be a mistake. Maybe white should have considered b5 at some point. Because that king's like getting in there now. I'm worried about white. You know, he played passively with his king. He didn't play b5. They. His pronouns are passive and strong. Thank God there's a 5-minute break between rounds. Huh? This is round 2. Gonna be a long one. There he goes again. This is like at least the third time black has played king c1 in the last like 10 moves. You better get a good active move in here at some point, man. Might be too late.
Wow. Hey. Does that work? Oh no. Alright, it's gonna be complicated. It's still complicated. Oh man. Would it have been better to put the king on d1? Or maybe it was hopeless because of rook c3 there. So maybe this is his best chance. It's kind of hard to see like white's waiting moves at this point. Does passive play hold at the end of the day? That's the real question. Defending passively in the ending. Passive but fast.
His style is fast, passive. King g2, double exclam. He's also allergic to playing b5. Must have hurt. It must have hurt his soul to play that move. Right? To play something even like remotely remotely aggressive. God forbid you activate your king or something. Wouldn't want to activate your king. First he played b5, now he activated his king too. It's like, oh my god. Really? Now, he's frustrated because he might have played another aggressive move. No. Rook b2. Right?
So let's see. King up, rook down, take, king takes king e2, king b4, king takes f2, a4. Ooh.
I couldn't calculate. a4, king takes e3, a5, take, king moves, b6, e3, b7, e2, queen first, queen e1, e1 queen. It could reach a really close double queen, you know. We go back into a queen ending. Aldister is going to lose on time. What about rook? What about the rook ending? I'd rather not. Ah, he's doing it. Oh my god. Dude, I think you should have gone into the king and pawning game. Oh, that was a really bad decision, bro. I was calculating that king and pawning game the whole time. I mean, rook d2, king d2, you draw him away. Oh, he stalemates your ass. No. Oh my god, he would stalemate him. Rook d2, king d2, king a4, king c3. And Wei just lost because he stalemated with his king on a4. Wow, I totally didn't see it. Drown the Clown must have seen it at the last minute and gone into this. Okay. It doesn't look good, but that's all we got. Wow, that was brutal. The king on a4 stalemated, forced to like sacrifice his king's side. He would just lose immediately. Yeah, it's only three extra pawns. No big deal. I wonder if a4 was better, oddly enough. Not to be like in the, you know, on a square where black's gonna queen with check. Yeah, this is lost. This is lost, guys. Sorry, clown. You passive clown. Stop clowning around. That hurt. Alright, guys, I'm going to take a short break, and we'll be back at the start of the next round.
Okay, guys, we're back. We're starting in a minute. Round 3. I just want to have a quick look at my game. How it looks. Phew, the cheesy noob game. Yeah, he was tough. He actually equalized. That was a crazy position. He made 2 blunders, 2 inaccuracies. I made 3 inaccuracies. Blunders only came toward the end. And he wasn't even in time pressure. Very interesting game. Alright, tournament starting here. 50 seconds. If anyone else wants to join the team, you're welcome to do so. You have to send a join request to the Pawnda and Horses Club. Guys, please donate and support the stream. When was our last gift sub? Bill yesterday. Nettie also donated a gift sub. Wow. What's the team name again? Pawnda and Horses Club. Pawnda and Horses Club. No apostrophes. Pawnda, capital P. Alright, we're black against Aldisto. E4. What does he play again? E4, E5, knight F3. I accidentally played Sicilian. God damn it. I meant to play E5. Can you believe I did that? I'm not going to gratify that with an answer. I hope you're going to say it was accidental. You're just trying to troll me, because I don't like being trolled. You know the hyperbola was just... You know the hyperbola was just created as an April Fool's Day joke, right? Hyperbola is a... It's a bad April Fool's Day joke. Playing the Najdorf. The Najdorf is basically a good Kraken. You know, again, if you need a recommendation for a mental health professional, I'm willing to give it to you guys. Just let me know where you live and see if I can help you find someone. No one should have to suffer with mental illness untreated. So we've got knight takes d4, a6. I start my own charity. Wow. The quiet move. I didn't expect that from Aldisto. Quiet bishop e2. We could play a Dragendorf. I'm qualified to play Dragendorf. Do I have my Dragendorf? My Dragendorf. Maybe, maybe not. That's for a mental health professional to diagnose, you know, not me. I'm not qualified to make diagnoses, you know, just I know when people need help. Oh, knight f5. All right. How does that work? It's a call for help. It's not a mental illness necessarily. Knight takes e4. Knight takes e4, bishop takes f5. Knight takes e4. Knight takes g7. I mean, how does this work? Oh yeah, knight e4. There's something about this, though. I'm supposed to just take on f5, right? We're really not gonna... I'm not gonna have to call Mr. Coffee on you. d5, bishop g5. d5, bishop g5. I was talking about Uber driver. You know, he has mental illness. Obsessive, you know, compulsive. Big Bobby, Mama, you know. all these weird like fetishes and stuff. So d5, bishop g5. There's a specific move I'm supposed to play. Isn't there? Yeah. Oh, now I remember. It's like d5, bishop g5, bishop b4. But does that even work? Take, take. Big Bobby liked this. I didn't play the Najdorf. It's unfair. You're taking advantage of me. I wanted to play e4, e5. I had like a Cowboys thing. So your wife is from Montana, and you suddenly started calling the bishop pair the Cowboys. Coincidence? I don't know, man. I never heard anybody refer to the bishop pair as Cowboys until you started doing it. They didn't even play chess in Montana. But I have to figure out where Kustar Shandor lives. It might have been Montana, actually. I think it was that he was out in Montana. From Budapest directly to Montana. I mean, that's fucked up, you know. Can you imagine moving from Budapest to Montana? I can't believe there's actual cities in there's like an actual city in Montana somewhere. Can't be, right? Castles. It's like one big void, like Africa in my mind doesn't have any like cities or tall buildings. Yeah, they refer to the bishops as cows out there. So if I play this move, like the point is to play bishop takes c3, right? Like you said, you're not thinking of bishop takes knight, are you? Well, I mean, would you recommend another way of not losing my d5 point? That is, in fact, the idea, isn't it? I'm not qualified to play the Najdorf. But I am qualified to play the Nimzo. But now we have to start asking some tough questions about this position. Many times we've discussed this. It's better to have two knights against two bishops than bishop and knight versus two bishops in most cases. They're easier to coordinate. Knights know what they like. Bishops know what they like, you know? When you've got a bishop and a knight, they're like, no, I want the position open. No, I want it closed. They don't get along with each other. You know, it's like very hard to coordinate them. It's hard to get them to work together, essentially. I never explained it like that, but I think that C4. Now, this is interesting. This is not a no-brainer here. H6 is a possibility at some point. D4 was my first thought. But obviously, this is an important position. I have options. Even taking, although it improves one of his bishops, doesn't look that bad at the end of the day. It just doesn't seem like white has anything special. Like bishop takes c4, queen c7, bishop b3, castles kingside. D4. D4 is like calling out to me, like The Shining. We love you. We never want you to leave. Sludgy? They're calling to my king. They're like, we love your king. Don't castle. You could just see the writing on the wall, like D4, bishop F3, queen C7, rook E1. Your opponent is Yefim Geller. Everything's fine, Sludgy. Debatable. And I should also mention the fact that Aldisto has shown like an amazing affinity for the bishop pair, to the point where he's like obsessed with the bishop pair. How many games have I played with this guy had the bishop pair? It's just like, he's worse than me, I was thinking queen c7. Castles is a bit more fundamental. This is given an option to go into an endgame, whereas queen c7 wouldn't. He could play bishop takes f6. Of course, I'm not stressing it. I think like black's fine in this endgame. Objectively, I probably should play queen c7. There was a big mistake. You just got back to my club, Plafond Real. That was cheesy noob. He's allowed to chat on lichess, just not on Twitch. Plafond. That's that Canadian streamer. Plafond. Rook E1, very Geller-like. Again. Where's the white square bishop going, exactly? To B3. Uber driver, you're extremely weird. You know that? Fred says pin and win. But nobody knows what freaking pin you're referring to. Yes, I was in a pin, and now my pawn, I guess the pin on the g5 bishop to my queen, but it's really not winning. It's not even a pin anymore, so there's no pins in this position at all. There are some interesting possibilities in the future here. E4. E4, bishop h4. This is an aggressive move by me. But I respect my pawn structure. This is not the safest move in the shed. We obviously have sleazy sort of Siberian traps. But I think a difficult position to evaluate, really, at the end of the day. You know what I like, though, about black here? A couple of things. What's fundamentally good about black's position? Control the center and pawn structure. I mean, those factors are definitely in my favor. And I've got like rook e8, rook a d8, and very fundamental. I mean, I'm playing, you know, classical kind of control the center here. Husky just subscribed 20 months. Thank you for subscribing for a mere 20 months. Now this also is a guy who's gonna try to fight for the center. The f5 pawn looks weak. So what's he gonna do if I played, for example, queen c5? Queen c5, g4, queen e5, g4, queen a5. Feels like I'm playing really without a plan here. You know what they say. Ah. Say ah. We go for it. G4. G4, knight e5. Bishop f6. Knight f3 check. King h1. Knight takes e1. See, that's your problem, Uber driver. You're the master of generalizations. But you're really not considering all the factors. This position is a toe-cracking good time. If G5, we need a good move. Rook A, E8. It's almost like Alice is aggressive. Well, you would be the judge. I mean, you it's like a fart, a fart smeller. You know an aggressive player when you see one, man. You're like Mr. Aggressive. You've never played passively in your life. I'm feeling a little regret. No, I mean, rook E5. E5 is a neat idea. Oh, yeah. Rook E5. Wow. I learned this from Aldis, though. He actually taught me this trick in a recent game. Remember when he played rook D5 against that clown guy? It's kind of the same thing. I think I'm playing a little too fast. Rook E5 is a little awkward. But he is quick, though. Where's my knight going? It's going to D5. That's the whole freaking point. It's almost like... So on G5, I play knight D5. I'm threatening Forkington. So he has to play like bishop takes D5, rook D5, rook D5, queen D5, queen E4, queen A2, queen B7, queen C2, queen A6, queen F5. And it's a heavy piece ending where he's a little overextended. Just an example. But, he gave up one of his cowboys. Sneak handlers, I like to prefer calling them. Dolphin trainers. That's hyper solid. All right, first off, that has to be disallowed. Okay, if you're gonna play H3, I'm gonna play H6. There's not gonna be any G5 in this game, at least not yet. 3 out of 4 moms. Yeah, I just realized something I'm not sure about here. Well, anyway. Whose king is safer? Whose minor piece is better? It's like the opposite of the clown versus Aldisto. It's Aldisto versus me. And now it's like black with the knight, and Aldisto has the bishop. Last time he had the knight against the clown's bishop. Queen c4 is a very awkward move. He could have played f4, but that's pretty risky. This just ties my rook down to f7, presumably. I don't really see another idea with it, you know? Like e3. I can play rook c5. What's wrong with rook c5? Why the hell does my rook need to be on e5 anyway? You know, he had f4 last move. I'm not sure it was a good move, but, you know, it had been disallowed. The entire tactical point all the time was like pawn takes f3, en passant, queen e5, f2 check. But, and I have knight g4 at the end. I don't have knight g4 at the end when he's played h3, so he had disallowed that. Mm-hmm. Disillusioned. Yeah, that's a nice queen. Very nice queen you got there. Very nice centralization. Ian. There's a weird sound on the street. They were like, woo. All right. Subtle threat. I am getting nuked here. No. I am getting pummeled, said Asterbait. Guys, please donate and subscribe. We did have a subscription rate. Rookie 3, as expected. This is what we expected. Expectated. He's an expectator. Now, which way do you take back? Queen and knight combo. I don't know what this variation is called. You know, the weird bishop e2. Wow, this is unexpected, completely unexpected. Holy cow, bro. Speaking of cows, am I ever going to use my pawns for anything constructive? Pretty good question. B5. a6 pawn gets weak if I do that. So that's not a good idea. All right. Therefore, I'm going to play rook c8. Gotta watch that f7 pawn. But I think we can navigate. What if I could play king f8? Try to trade the queens, huh? No, I think I want the queens on. Maybe trade the rooks. Trade other pieces. I could trade minor pieces. I could trade the rooks, but not the queens. Queens leaves him with... His best chance is probably rook and bishop versus rook and knight. That would be an endgame where his king could also like get very active, leading to a large advantage in some cases. Maybe a5, in fact. a5, trying to get in a quick b5, and he plays a4, I have b5. Takes a4, some levers. Easier said than done. Okay, rook d2. An unassuming waiting move. Now I have a5, b5. I'm trying to play a5. Queen d6, a5, take, check, king h7. That's not great, but he might have some issues as well. I'm turning a4, winning the game. White would have to play a4 himself. Then takes. Bishop takes, rook c4, bishop b3. And I'm turning a4 again. But I'm probably a little bit slow there. He just played a4 directly. That's an open file, potentially. I didn't know which way he was going to take. Queen a5. Remember, we don't want to trade queens. Kind of number one thing here. Number one think. Masturbate is number one thinker. Waiting move. Why rook d1? What's that about? If you don't understand why your opponent is doing what they're doing, they're either a noob or they have the nuts. In most cases. All right, what do I do? I need a way to break through. Rook b8, not exactly. King h7. You could play that move. Right. I get that. Looking for ways to make this work. I have a bad feeling about this. I think I just blundered. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's be optimistic. Queen c4, he didn't play it. That's weird. Why didn't he play queen c4? Pin it and win it, according to Uber driver. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm like really better here. I think I have to be content with a draw. If my opponent like offers draw or repeats moves, I might have to take it. I don't see how I'm winning. Bishop's still ultimately still better than the knight. The plan was what? I don't remember. What was the plan again? Does anybody remember what the plan was? Maybe back to rook e5 if I had time. What was up with queen a7? Well, that's what I played last time. Is it a good move, though? Why would I play that? I should play queen c3, no? No, it hangs. It hangs f7. Yeah, I think it's a good game. You know, if he wants to draw, it's okay with me. If he wants to try to win, that's okay too. Real Bruce. The real Bruce. No idea what you're talking about. Quick overview. This isn't a line. That's a problem. I'm not supposed to play that. Well, that's why I don't play the knight or... Wow, I'm supposed to play d5 first. Do we transpose back? No. Wow. So I'm supposed to do this. Oh my god. So this is just not great what I did here. Good to know. But it's not that bad for black, honestly. Like, white didn't get anything. It's kind of funny. Wow. Yeah, I'm like marginally better. Until e4. Okay, it's equal. Whatever, it's equal. It was a good game. It was a good game. Very well played by both sides. Final position 0. Alright, good game. Back to tournament. Oh, we're on to the next round. Uber driver, you're dangerously close to getting timed out here. Yeah, I wouldn't you to be. I wouldn't want you to be stuck outside in the cold. Guys, I have a GM tournament coming up in 2 weeks. I have to take a week, like a full 7 days off of grinding dollars. So I would appreciate if anybody wants to donate. Support me playing 10 games in 1 week. You know, hoping someday my team will pay me, maybe at the end of the season, for that game number 10. But I have 10 games. No work. Well, chess is work. Got 0-0. You're not allowed to get money for selling your kidneys. Well, actually, in the States, you're not. I don't know. That's against the rules. I had a friend who was going to donate a kidney. And, yeah, you have to go black market for that. Yeah, you can't donate your kidneys for profit in the U.S. Well, actually, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's very carefully monitored that if you do arrange a donation, they really look into it and make sure, like, you're not, like, you know, donating your kidney to somebody to skip the line, basically. Sparkle Horse, Aldisto, Dinekis, Sung Prism, Nedeye, Schumacher, Irun, Uber Driver, Esmerchea, Cheesy Noob. What happened to Cheesy Noob? Like, Cheesy Noob lost again? He lost to Sung Prism. Wow. But that must have been an epic game. Astrobate, make sure you refresh the page so you know exactly how much time till the next round starts. I feel like there's a bug in the, you know. Let's rephrase the question. Lichess coders and the creator of the site, and they always hated the Swiss tournaments, and they only reluctantly added it. So I doubt they put a lot of emphasis into making sure there's no bugs with the Swiss tournaments. There used to be even worse bugs, remember? What was it used to do? There was some weird stuff it would do. Hello? So I should play Dinekis. Did you guys know that all kangaroos were left-handed? Do you guys know that? I just made that up. I can't believe anybody believed me. So Dinekis is not here? Left-footed. There was this argument in my poker game about whether Beckham was left-footed or not. There's like these Hungarian poker players arguing over whether Beckham was left-footed. I was like, oh shit. I thought they were going to come to blows. One guy was like insisting that Beckham was left-footed. And he said he could like put the soccer ball on a dime with his left foot. I was like, this can't really be happening. They're not really having an argument about this and they're going to like get into a fight about it. About an irrelevant, you know, retired football player. Anyway. Well, he's not irrelevant, but he is retired. Wow. Dude, I got hammered the one time I did something like this. I was looking at this with my student. Now all you need to do is like remember when I'm supposed to play. Hey, wait, you're threatening Shirazi. Shirazi losing in U.S. Championship to Queen E5 check against Jack Peters. I can't believe I beat like the clown. I mean Uber driver to mentioning that. But there is Blobix, right? Blobix like purposely will hang his rook. So can you do crazy shit like knight? Can you do crazy shit like knight A3, Queen E5 check? You know, knight, maybe knight A3. There's got to be some way to trap the queen on A1. The point would be, there's likely a way to trap the queen on A1. Point taken. This is my first time ever playing this position with white. I'm just trying to figure out where I am here. I don't understand why you can't sleep in your chair. That's what my aunt used to do all the time. You need a nice lazy boy recliner or whatever, you know? She would just nod off, like, oh, I'm just resting my eyes. I miss my aunt and my family, my relatives that all died. It sucks when all your relatives died. I still have some distant relatives left who are closer to my age. Yeah, but this could result in minor discomfort. No. Can't believe you conned me into playing bishop e2. Maybe black's okay here after all. Upright. No, you're in a chair. You're not upright. Those are two totally different things. There's like laying down, sitting, and then being upright, you know. But if you get a lazy boy recliner, you can like lean it back. Some gaming chairs do that. Speaking of gaming chairs, don't castle queenside, dude. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. Just play smart chess here. You heard those who had hair implant had to sleep upright for a week or so. That's because you live in Turkey and everybody goes to Turkey for like optional, like you know, medical surgeries and doesn't come back alive. Don't get your hair implant surgery in Turkey, or you might like. You may never like wake up. It's not just hair implants. I mean, like the cosmetic surgery industry there is huge. Butt lifts. You go to Turkey, get a butt lift, you never go home. I don't think castling queenside is a good idea. You know, it's very, very unnecessary and risky for black here. Black should content himself with like e6 and try to play a normal game. I don't know though. Aldisto, you should be like the time that I offered a draw against Ukrainian I am Artur Frolov. What was it he said? Mr. Coffee remembered. He was like, "No draw, play." I was like, Jesus, dude. There's no prizes in this tournament. Like, the guy was like, God, you think it was like $1,000 first prize? Fuck, man. Hardcore, man. One of Nefedov's buddies, ironically. Knight A3. Oh shit, I hung my D-pawn. God damn it. The Turkish tea thing. I can't say I've heard of that. I will mention one funny thing, Teze. When you weren't here, I've never been to Turkey prior to this fall, this winter. And I went to play in the World Senior Championship in Italy, and I had to get a connecting flight back through Istanbul. And I flew with Adalik back to Istanbul, and after kissing him goodbye, I went into the terminal and waited for like 3 hours for my flight to Budapest. And I did like the dumbest thing ever at the airport in Istanbul. I was hungry, and the first thing I came out of the like, I don't know, whatever, exit gate, and went to like the terminal part where you wait to like, hang out till the next flight. I didn't find like the main like food area to get food. I would have gone to like some normal Turkish type of buffet or something. But I ate at Arby's. I was like kind of having this like American nostalgia. Like, since I've been living in Hungary, I haven't seen an Arby's at Istanbul airport. Yeah, I haven't seen an Arby's in like 20 years. And there's this like lone Arby's like somewhere in the airport. And I was like excited because it's like a memory from my childhood. It was a popular like fast food chain when I was a little kid. And I literally haven't seen one. It was the worst. It was like one of the worst Arby's, the worst places I ever saw. It was the most pathetic like roast beef sandwich I ever ate in my life. And like immediately like after I ate it and like went upstairs to the next level, there was like this beautiful like massive like shopping mall, like every kind of Turkish food you could want. It was just like, I gotta be kidding. I literally just ate at Arby's when I could have had like some like fairly authentic, kind of like decent food. I mean, it's an airport, of course. I'm sure even like but it's just the irony of the thing. Like, I literally ate at Arby's in Turkey. Like, what kind of an idiot am I, seriously? I'm a good commercial for Arby's. It was terrible. It was the worst Arby's on the planet. Even the people that worked there were like totally just disenchanted. It was dirty. It was like the only like dirty, disgusting food option in the entire airport, and I found it. Like, it's unbelievable. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. It was kind of funny because I hadn't had a chance to see you on the stream since the World Senior. No, in the Turkish food court, there like, it was nice, and I went there later and had like a drink, but the atmosphere was okay and it was normal, Like, I'm an idiot, dude. But the impression I got, Tezek, was that the Istanbul airport was renewed. It was like renovated relatively recently, no? It may be a joke. It's like hard to get to. Adelic was telling me like it's really like far from the city. I mean, that's the point, right? It's very far from the city itself. He was like, "Look, I would take you home. We could hang out, but it's like so far to the airport that it's like even 3 hours isn't enough." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah. How much time do you have till your next flight?" Yeah, it's far away. That's the thing. Like, I had 5 hours between my flights. And Swat was like, I can't, I don't think you should, like, you know, come home with me because you might not make it back to the airport in time. I'm like, are you kidding? I have 5 hours. He's like, well, I don't know. It's kind of close. I'm like, geez. Black is yeah. Anyway. That's my Istanbul airport story. But once I found the nice part, I was already full though. You know, I couldn't eat anything. After the Arby's. Ugh. It's kind of even really weird that they have an Arby's in the Istanbul airport. I mean, it's just like insane. I don't think they have Arby's in Massachusetts, like the state of Massachusetts, but they have one in the Istanbul airport. It's like, what? There was this another joint when I was a kid. There was a famous actor in the Western movies named Roy Rogers, and so there was a kind of better roast beef chain called Roy Rogers. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Roy's roast beef. It was like Arby's but better, like better quality. I thought. That's probably defunct now. I don't know. Defunct you up. Yeah, Arby's has a kind of meme because they had this like kind of popular meme commercials and stuff. We've got the meats and all that. They had a good advertising campaign, but it's just like bad quality in general. What else did I eat recently? In Budapest? I ate I always eat like Bob's Big Boy. The travel restaurant chains. The Howard Johnson's was the best, though. Acerbate. Do you remember Howard Johnson's? They had the best breakfast, man. It was like... it was like... Howard Johnson breakfast was like... I guess I'm hungry talking about food. I guess. Howard Johnson's breakfast was like International House of Pancakes, but a little bit better quality, better service and quality. And that was the really, I think that was the pinnacle of American culture. Pinnacle, the highest point, what do you call it? Goldercan says, I've done some research, some reading. Yeah, I was thinking today, I don't have all of Kasparov's great predecessors. I don't have, for example, the one on Alekhine. I only have like 2 of his books on great predecessors, so yeah, I highly recommend it. You know, Kasparov never really shared a lot of his knowledge publicly. He never needed to make money from writing. And you don't make a lot of money from writing chess books, just so everyone knows. Shock. Surprisingly, right? I hear the audible gasps in the audience. G-Souths, turn off the, you should turn off your AI or whatever. That comment was totally made by, an AI. I believe everyone can GM once they memorize the World Championship games since 1996. That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Do you know how easy chess would be if it was just about memorizing games? I mean, freaking everybody would be a grandmaster. Like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. That's not even worth taking the time to answer that, you know. Chess wouldn't... That's why so many people play chess. I mean, chess is hard. It's hard to understand it. There are many different ways to look at it and perceive it. There's no right or wrong that's that clear. It's literally not just about memorization. That's why I hate Chessable, you know. Giving people the idea that chess is about memorization is a scam. And Chessable is, therefore, essentially, I hate to say it, a scam. All right. You're going to have to sacrifice the exchange here. Or something. And you did. Chessable scam. Well, I'm not sure it was intended to be a scam from the beginning, but some things are intended to be scams and some things kind of become scams, you know. They may start out as legitimate enterprises and go on to become scammy, you know, and it feels like Chessable's like that. Somebody thought it would be a great idea to have this spaced repetition. And maybe that works for some people. If I didn't know better, I would think Deinekis was like 8 years old. The word on the street is that he's not, that he's like a middle-aged player. I don't really understand it, though. My question would be, like, why does he play, you know, bullet chess in a 15 plus 10 game as if he's like 7 years old when he's like a middle-aged chess player? I just don't really get it, you know? But it's I guess we can all sort of degenerate. Right? Acerbate? Degenerate, what's the word I want? Not degenerate, but when you go backward, you regress. Regress to childhood. Acerbate, let's regress to your childhood. Let's do some treatment. Okay, we'll regress to childhood. Hey, Acerbate, how did you learn to move the pieces? How did you first learn to move the chess pieces? Mate. Mate is great. You're telling me that he's your sister. This position is a beautiful thing. Oh my god. Rook e3, f4. Rook e6. Oh my god. Someone mentioned the Aster mate recently. Yeah, I mean, he's 11:25 left. 2 games ongoing. Aldisto Sun Prism. Aldisto. Well, actually, 2 Bishop show. What about the clown guy? What happened to the clown? Alright, Mr. Coffee's not here, so I'm going to time them out. Juvenile delinquent. None of that now. Tazik, why are you not in the team? Oh, I just closed the window. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh my god. Wait, what? Tazik, why are you not in our team? How did you become a non-member? Wow. Cowboys and Indians. I know it's not politically correct, but I have to confess that when I was a little kid, one of our favorite games was to play Cowboys and Indians. So if the bishops are cowboys, the Indians, American Indians that is, or Native Americans as they are politically correctly called, the Native Americans are these knights. What a different world we live in today, huh? Can't believe the horrible things we used to do when I was a child. Recreate World War II. And have like battles between cowboys and Native Americans. I was a sick child. Alright. We had a resub. Oh, you earlier something blah blah blah. Not everyone can afford a coach. That's ridiculous, G-Souths. You can go to the library and take out books and study. It has nothing to do with memorization. I think what we're trying to not talk about paying for a coach. We're talking about, and even if you can pay for a coach, you still have to study on your own. The question isn't about having money or a coach. The question is about memorization versus thinking and studying and analyzing, not memorizing. This is what we're talking about. The best thing you can do for your chess game is to analyze the games of masters, not memorize them. It doesn't matter if you forget the game. It's the ideas within the game that are important. I couldn't even, honestly regurgitate 5 master games that I could remember perfectly at this point. I've forgotten almost all games I've ever memorized. Nothing to do with money. Although, Hans, having money for 20 coaches doesn't hurt. Alright, so Jeroen now has queen and knight versus... Every time Uber Driver has that G2 bishop. Wait a minute, this isn't... That wasn't Uber Driver, that was Drown the Clown. I'm not going to argue with you. Sometimes it's easier to just let them be. Just let it be. If people don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. I'm not going to force them to listen. It is what it is. Then again, some things are lost in translation. I have this other student, won't name names. Supposedly intelligent guy. He's online now. Yeah. All he does is play bullet chess. You're never gonna get better, bro. Like that. Really sad when I see intelligent thinking people degenerate to the bullet level. I know I'm going to hear their excuse. I don't have time. I don't have time to play real chess. I have my family, and give me a break, bro. You could play one good game rather than 15 bullet games instead. People are inherently lazy. They have excuses for everything. I'm included. How was Uber Driver? What happened to Drown the Clown? Is it allowed to have 2 accounts in the same tournament? What is this, Merle Dixon? Husky subscribed and then left? Let's see the tournament. Is he even here? 20 players, no. Drown the Clown played 2 games and left. Where is Uber? There's Uber Driver. Oh, Uber Driver got a forfeit win last round. Wow, congrats on that. Two connected passed pawns. We gonna play together? Who you talking to, Willis? Net-Eye, you got a loss, a bye, a win against Asterbait, and a win against Esmerchea. And you got 3 points. I don't know, man. It depends on what happens. I have to play somebody. It could be you. It could be the winner of... could be Sun Prism. Probably you. Yeah, I'll probably play Nettie, and Aldisto will play Dinekis or something in the last round. Unless Sun Prism wins. Rather, draws. Let's see, Sun Prism doesn't lose. Which is unlikely, because these 2 pawns are just too strong. It's not a question of material as much as 2 connected pawns. It's not only 2 connected pawns. I mean, black also might... Well, never mind. It doesn't matter. It's enough. It's effectively 2 pawns up. What about tie breaks? I'm very slightly ahead of Aldisto on tie break somehow. And if I play Net Eye, that would be better because he has a better tie break. Although that buy shouldn't count. I mean, according to classical tie breaks, Net Eye should be a bad opponent because he has a buy point, I would think. Which is not a real game. Which would make his tie breaks, I would think that would make his tie breaks go down. We'll see what happens here. Last game. So what happened in the other game? Uber Driver got the win against Haroon with the mate, Bishop versus Knight. And last game now. Check. Okay, white is lost. He's losing a queenside pawn as well now. That's the only move, Bishop F1. Let's see what black does. Go, Shaki. You tell him. Shaki doesn't come to play in the tournament. He just comes to like mock the weird comments. So this move is risky. Like you allowed Bishop C4. Why not play B5 or Bishop B5 check or check? You could have like reduced any counterplay. Okay, it probably doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, so Aldisto's way of playing is winning. It should be winning. But it still feels like it gives the opponent like a 1% chance of swindling. Ah, there goes the bishop. 0% chance now. Yeah, okay. It's over. All right. 5 minutes to last round, guys. These are long games, so I made it just 5 rounds tonight. Don't forget to support our journey to GM with a donation. And in addition, Thursday is our next stream. Analysis stream if anyone is a subscriber. And I'll be right back in a minute. I told you, Uber driver, if you have any psychological needs, now it's daddy. It's mommy and daddy. Very basic needs Uber driver has. Alright. Last round, and Aldisto is ahead of me on tiebreak now. Well, that was nice. But if I get the better tiebreak opponent here, which I will, if he gets net-eye, actually, I'm screwed. He'll get net-eye. Unless he beat net-eye in the first round. Did not. Where's Cheesy Noob, by the way? He just left? Cheesy Noob left. That's disappointing. Cheesy Noob could have had a decent tiebreak. So now the only player with a decent tiebreak is net-eye. If Aldisto, you know. So I get the higher rated player with the worst tiebreak. Well, that's good. That means that net-eye is playing against our hero, Aldisto. So Aldisto gets tiebreaks, bonanza, and a lower rated opponent. Oof. So the only way I can win the tournament is if net-eye draws or beats Aldisto, basically. I have to win and net-eye has to not lose. Otherwise I lose on tiebreaks at least. You resigned? I'm not going to ask about that. What other option do I have there? Well, I mean, obviously, like B5. So if I did like a search of Sung Prism games, would I come up with the Tarash against the French? Exchange Tarash, even better. It's the Exchange Tarash. You should be... exiled from the chess world, in my opinion. Chess exile. Player who seems legitimately interesting playing the exchange variation. That's hard. That's hard, dude. Hard to grasp. Why would you play that? Why ask why? People do what they do. Why asketh? Now I'm just playing like an obscure move in the French Tarash. Fortunately, C3 doesn't seem, you know, like a particularly acid test. A6, meanwhile, maybe a bit more useful than the foreboding C3. Ooh, bishop E2. You got me. Yeah, bishop E2 is really insipid. Would he play... Well, that's a good question. and it's a valid question. I don't know. I don't know if you would play the exchange variation. That's what I'm saying. I really don't know. Feels bad, man. The good news is I'm almost equal. The bad news is it's like frickin' completely symmetrical. Kraken. McCracken. Is there some rocker named McCracken? We need Netog. Not McCluskey. That's one of my favorite bands, but McCracken. I'm Phil Rizzuto for the Money Store. No, we're not talking about Batman. It's not even close. Where do you get Batman from Kraken? It's not even remotely close. Remember that guy? I played a guy on my stream in a similar position. I just resigned in a simul, where he did like queen b3, and I tried to trap his queen, and I hung a pawn. That's sexual harassment. That's exactly like the guy, dude. You are the guy. You're the guy that I like banned from my simul for cheating. Literally. You play the exact same moves. That's really weird, dude. If you realize that. And you've used 15 seconds for the whole game. Just has a good memory. He's been studying with G Souts. Chess is all about memorization. Just memorize Sledgy's like weird losses to computer-like players, and you'll be able to beat me for sure. Sun Prism learned chess last week. Shuffle our rooks. Shuffle off to Buffalo. Shuffle. I have a question, a serious question. No, I'm going to ask you guys a serious question. If buffaloes could play one sport, what would they choose? This question seems completely directed at Mr. Coffee. Or Acerbate. Shuffle up and deal. A shuffalo. What do you call a blackjack dealer? Buffalo. Blackjack dealing buffalo, otherwise known as the shuffalo. But I was trying to go for shuffleboard. Buffaloes would naturally gravitate toward playing shuffleboard. Anybody would know that. You'd have to be an idiot. You'd have to be a complete idiot to not know that. Of course they would go for shuffleboard. The problem is a lot of people don't know what shuffleboard is. If you haven't been on a cruise ship lately, or you weren't privileged like me to belong to a swim club when you were a kid, one of the only privileges I had as a youth, somehow my family belonged to the swim club. Never talked about this on the stream. It's not like a trauma or something, just I wasn't overly privileged, but another Americana thing that's kind of lost. Well, I mean, it's aristocrat. Dude, Uber driver, you're not serious, are you? You're in Montana. You moved to Montana? You didn't go and move to Montana on me, did you? I was gonna say, I didn't know that. I mean, you say your wife's from Montana. Well, the good thing about a swim club is that you learn to swim, first of all. The second good thing about the swim club was you get to see, hot girls when you're a teenage boy and stuff like that at the swim club. The third good thing about swim club was the hamburgers. They had really good burgers and fries at the snack bar. The snack bar. Swim club snack bar. I mean, dudes, I live in Hungary and I have major issues with being homesick. What would Bafanek do? What would Raset Ziatanov do? And would they be the same thing? Probably not. Ratchet. This is Ratchet. Nurse Ratchet. I don't know, someone on sound. I'm kind of meh. It's been a long day. Isaac Lipnitsky would approve of my position. There was a funny joke, one of those late night talk shows, about the Donald, what's it called, the Joe Biden investigation, right? Who was it? One of those guys was it was Maher, made a joke. They talked about the report about Biden by the Republican attorney investigating Biden's documents handling or whatever. And then they're like reading the report and like Joe Biden is like, an elderly, friendly guy, and I'm and I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Um, like it's at the bottom of the report, like it's a campaign ad. Carlisle. I went to a band. Junior high. I was in band, and I went to a band competition in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's a small world we live in, boys and girls. Stop begging for draws. Why would I take a draw here? What's your deal, dude? Are you 5 years old, Sun Prism? Sun Prism is 5 years old. He challenged me to Hyper Bullet today, and then offers me like a draw in the chat. Like, dude, it's not a simul. I don't take draws in rapid games, and you're worse here. Secondly, though I know you don't really like know about that, but first of all, you're worse. Secondly, I don't do draws like it's a simul or something. I don't know, man. I think he's more like 6 years old, to be honest. Uber driver. But, he can be forgiven for his maturity level. Whereas for you, I don't think you have the same excuse. Goldercan, do you like getting timed out? I don't know where this is going. Do you like money matches? What are we talking about? Like arm wrestling? I mean, bishop takes e1. I was really close to sacking on h3. It might work. Although now it doesn't, probably. I should qualify that. Definitely. Highly recommend, studying chess. Going to the local pub and doing chess matches. Yeah, but all Hungarians are poor. We have, not all of them. Those not in the ruling Fidesz party. I mean, we have like rating and literal inflationary poverty here. I mean, compared to the rest of Europe. It's hard to find people to play poker for money, let alone chess. People don't play chess for money, much. It used to be, interestingly, like back in the day, I could go not far from where I live and see people playing for money in the train station. But it's not like America, where people... I could play in America, in Boston or New York, chess for money. There are some parks here where it's possible you could play, but they're never going to play with like a foreigner. I have... Even if I understand Hungarian, I have like an incurable American accent, and even if I could find a Hungarian who was willing to play for money, they're not going to want to play with like a foreign player. You find some guy in the park, who plays for money, they're going to not... It's not like Washington Square Park or something. They're not going to be interested in playing some foreigner. Black is clearly better here. But I do think that Sun Prism is some sort of... possible genius. There's that computer move again. Cheesy the computer move. Cheesy move. We should change his name to Cheesy Move. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, there's always that. Let's stick with the program. One of the most important things in the... Yeah, he left. He was bummed out he lost to Sung Prism. I can kind of identify with that. Sung Prism has a form of barometricitis. IQ 200. How's my hypertension doing? Oh, I mentioned it. Well, no, I mean I've been fine. Hypertension was related to anxiety and probably exacerbated by lack of exercise and drinking alcohol. We have been cutting back on alcohol. Exercise hasn't been so good because I never have any time, so that's not good. Yeah, I don't eat any salt, but that's not really my issue, you know. I don't have hypertension because I eat a lot of salt. Anyway. Should I go for this? I didn't want to exchange rooks. Wait for it. What's amazing about the Sung Prism is how fast they are. Oh, that's why I went there. Oh yeah, I remember now. God, I'm such an idiot. It doesn't really matter, actually. This move is fine. I hope. Whoa. Did the other games all finish? You guys done yet? Are we there yet, Donkey? We're just getting warmed up. This is the French exchange variation. Talk about a good time, huh? When I think about a good time, I think about the French exchange variation. I recommend it at parties. Al is still winning, what? That's something unbelievable. Knight to c2. I'm a flinger. Now we need to start talking about calculation. B4 or after. B4. Good God, man. Have you no decency? B4. Wait, who am I? Oh my God. Wow, that's like a cheapo. Knight f5. B4, knight f5 takes. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, let's go a step further though. B4, knight f5, bishop f8. Bishop d2. Yeah. Take it a step further, man. Do you actually calculate anything? I mean, or you just like check what's in the back alley, see what you got back there? That's what I'm asking. I talked about this. I want to make a blog about it. How people are just like playing on intuition and they're just like lucky half the time. That's way beyond Uber driver's capabilities. I mean, this is seriously deep. We're literally like way beyond Uber driver. He doesn't calculate more than one move deep. That's why I use my time, man. You think you have 9 minutes and I have 5 minutes because you're just like faster than me? Like I can also just like make instantaneous moves based on intuition. The point is like I'm using my time to actually calculate stuff. You know, it's good. It's a good idea. That's what I'm trying to get through to people. They just don't want to listen, you know? Like, hey, maybe calculating would make sense sometimes. This is an outpost. It's a knight outpost. Advanced Knight Outpost, Part 1. Bishop c5, worth considering. Yeah, it is. Pre-move that. Now, which is better, the knight or the bishop? That's what I was wondering. Cereal's even. What are you gonna do, dude? Okay. That is not a draw. But now you have 8 minutes to think about how you're gonna lose, which is the important thing. If the pieces come off. Mm-hmm. Very equal. Have you ever read Orwell? My position is more equal than your position. This is just like, dude, whatever. This is chess. I mean, my animals are more equal than your animals. There is a slight issue of Zugzwang. Just a little bit of Zugzwang. Shall we check it out? I mean, I guess I should play A5 first of all. Just get that secured. And now we can put our king in a safe place. A place for mom, as they say. Place for mom. Get everything ready. Now I'm going to eat your A pawn. Then I'm going to go back for seconds. Can I have your A pawn? Would you mind? You know, actually, I can't force that, can I? Because I'm going to have to move my king again. That is rather annoying. So place for mom didn't really work. I have to triangulate. I'll triangulate. No problem. I'm triangulating. You have two moves here. Rook e2 or rook e8. That's the other one. No, rook e3. You have three moves. Even better. So let's see the king and pawn game. Is that even a draw? Take, king e4. Not necessarily winning, but it looks good. Take, king e4. King e2, f5, f3 check. Takes, check, king f2, f, king f2, f4, g4. No. Even the king and pawn game is probably winning for black, but I wouldn't want to risk it. As a rule, in general, I don't do king and pawn games when I can, I can also go into the rook endgame, which is completely winning here. Knight takes e1, rook takes e1, rook takes a2. Definitely winning. I think first I'm going to leave like Linden pawns with my geriatric king. And then I'm going to take your a pawn. Then I'm going to go back. On Linden Pond. I didn't play this the most efficient method. You know, I wasted time with King F5. It was a mistake. How come this is not stalemate? Right. That's what I was thinking. It's a problem. French exchange is an easy draw. Yeah, I mean, I could have taken the rook ending, like knight e1, rook e1, rook a2. I think even trading all the pieces, king e4. Let's say king d2, king e4, king e2. f5 is winning for black, probably. But I'm not sure. I think so. f5, king e1. The point is I eventually have f4 takes, king takes. I'm eventually going to win. I have too much space, you know. With my king on e4 and that king and pawn game, it's winning. King e4, f5, f4. You have to give way. Oh, I see. You want to sack your bishop now. Well, that's annoying. Well, that's really dis. No draw, and that's from me. Uncle Acerbate. I don't have a sense of humor, you know, in these situations. You heard it here first. Knights are tricky pieces. It's not stalemate? Oh, that's so weird. Very salvageable. Well, that was a waste of time. Okay. Anyway. Oh, that's insane. Oh my god. Audisto and I finished with the same score and the same tiebreak. What? How do we... Yeah, he's like Ron DeSantis. Get him a participation trophy. Okay, so how am I the winner? Because my rating is higher? Is that the final tiebreak? We have exactly the same tiebreak. Exactly the same number of points. But I'm ranked higher at the end based on rating? I mean, is that... That's fair. Maybe it like goes by performance? No, it's not the one who reached it first. Yeah, I guess Audisto says performance. That's the only thing I can think of. They're going by... Yeah, I mean, it's like points the same, tiebreak's the same, performance is the same. This is the first time it ever happened. We had exactly the same tiebreak as another player. I didn't think I would catch him on tiebreaks. I've got another player joining the team. But good tournament, Audisto. Yeah, these were longer games than I thought. We had time to really think. An Uber driver came in late. Uber driver, how many points did you have? Like, in all? I think Uber driver tied for first. I don't know, man. Are you sure you didn't tie for first, Uber driver? Maybe you even... I don't know, maybe you even, like, won the tournament, like, technically. No. Uber driver tied for first. He's part of the cult. No. Tied for first through third, in a sense. But anyway, he's third place. Nedeye gets... How was that game, by the way? Did he put up a fight? Did you put up a fight against Audisto? Oh, he was holding on. Oh my god. He did put up a fight. Look at this. Whoa. It was a draw. You had reached a drawn position. Oh my god. And Audisto had 8 minutes left and you had 15. 13. Yeah, Audisto was sloppy in this game. But he eventually got it. Oof. And now there's like no... There's no way to get inside to break the blockade, and the white king comes up. Wow. And this is a blunder as well. Made in 23, and you didn't see that? King d6, checkmate is now unavoidable. King d5 was best. Man, that's a weird position, bro. Alright. I guess white's winning, but it's going to be made in 23. Bishop and knight endgame. You guys didn't reach bishop and knight? Finally. Nedeye has to at least force you to play like bishop and knight, mate. Oh my god. You didn't get your last pawn. Anyway, guys, good tournament. Asterbait got himself a point and a bye. Uber Driver got a last round pairing with Asterbait. Can't wait to see that game later this week. Anyway, congratulations, Juicebox Wizard. Morning, guys. Wow. Good morning, Vietnam, Cambodia. You just caught the end of my stream. I guess that's why we haven't seen you lately. Juicebox was more likely to catch the morning streams, which are there are less of, just Mondays and Fridays now. Yeah, Juicebox, you just made it. You've been working for Embassy. North Korea? Or which one? I'm just kidding. Really funny, right? You sure they did the necessary background checks? Medical interpreter, wow. They probably do have a North Korean embassy. We might even... I'm surprised we didn't have one in Hungary. This is Europe, though. Cambodia. Alright, guys. Well, it's over. Sadly, only 5 games, but they were long games. So, enjoy the tournament. Thanks, everyone. Good to see Juicebox Wizard. And, yeah. I will talk to you later. See you Thursday. See you. I hope you're well. Richard. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.